Hi everyone, once again I welcome you to my YouTube channel. I'm Sandra Ndiomjenyi, CEO of Manzi Business Marketing Agency. I'm excited to be with you today. I want to thank our sponsor, Serena Hotels. Thank you for taking care of us. Thank you for all the support that you give us. Our subscribers, our viewers, our followers, what would we be without you? Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the feedback. We feel appreciated. Today, I am at a farm in Mpigi. We are going to train on how to plant jinga, and we have come to visit one of the proprietors of this company, Agro and more. He's called Mugera, and he's going to take us through, because from my discussion earlier with him, there is a high demand for jinga and also tomatoes, given even this period that we're in for, COVID, the corona period and all that. And jinga is really is on high demand. So he's going to take us through how to successfully have a jinga business, agribusiness in jinga. Please do not change the channel. Keep glued to this channel for more. Thank you. Isaac, I welcome you to my show today.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you host us.
Thank you.
My viewers, I'm sure, are anticipating from you on how to go about this jinga, because we're going to have jinga, then later we're going to train in tomatoes, right?
Yes.
So today, now we're starting with the jinga, and I want you to introduce yourself to them and tell them more about your business, your company.
Oh, thank you so much, Sandra. You are welcome to my farm, and this is our demo part 2. There is demo part 1. There is another part 3. So we're going to be looking at all of them. We have jinga different stages. We are in Maya. My name is Isaac Mugera, the CEO, Agri and more agribusiness developers. We are located in Mpigi. Our job is simple, to make it simple for the farmers. We supply agro inputs to farmers. We offer extension services to farmers, and we do train farmers on the different enterprises, on the different crops or animals. We do have the team that covers all. And then we offer services in agribusiness consultancy.
Thank you, Isaac. I can see you have a lot going on, and you look to be, serious with what you're doing, which is a good thing. I want you to tell my viewers, what's your history, first of all? Like, how did you end up in this kind of business?
Yes, how did I end up in this kind of business? There are so many reasons, but the most important thing is, number one, I got a chance at a very early age to be exposed to agricultural production at very high levels. I have been to Israel, I've seen production at that level. I have been to the US, I was in California for some time, over a year, and there was a lot to learn. And then I came back here, we did production, we have done poultry, we have done tomato production, jinga. We have had experiences here and there, but when I look at the way our farmers do it here, there is a lot that is missing, and we are here to cover that gap. See how best we can help them. My background is in agriculture, and my team, the management team, we have degree holders and master holders with a lot of weighty experience in agricultural production in both crop and animal. So trust me, you are in safe hands. Today we're going to cover jinga, and then we shall go into tomatoes. Again, for any other crop, we are here. Agri and more, Mpigi.
Oh, thank you, Isaac, for that insight. So, like you said, you have it, like I should say, going on in your blood. You have had your training right from the the tender age.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, which is really good. So you really know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to take us through the training,
Mm-hmm.
right from jinga, from the seedling
Yes, yes.
to the market.
To the market.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be
And
glad.
I think the floor is now yours.
Thank you.
And we're going to do practicals because I can see jinga here.
Now we're speaking jinga, and it's going to be purely jinga from now onwards. Perfect. So jinga, one crop that has little known about it, and yet it has market, and if handled carefully, it can get you from zero to the billionaire or millionaire that you may be dreaming about. Why do I say that? Everybody that has tasted a cup of tea that has jinga in it, you know the difference. But where does it start from? Where does it come from? And how do we even get to that side where you are sitting on a table and you're enjoying a cup of tea? It starts from here. This is where we get it from. It's not grown in a fridge. It's not grown in the market where you find it. It's not grown anywhere. It's from this soil. So we're going to start from this soil. Anything that, if there's anything that you should know about jinga and how to get well with it, to enjoy the business in jinga, only two things. Get the seeds right. If you get the seeds right, next, do feed the jinga very well. So how do we get the seeds right? What we plant as seed, jinga is a rhizome. It grows in the ground. So this is what we planted. This is actually big. So we're supposed to plant something really small. Okay. So
in a seedling form.
Not a seedling. We get
Seed.
the rhizomes.
The rhizome.
Yeah.
Oh, you get that.
This.
The rhizome.
Yes,
yeah.
this is a rhizome.
Yeah.
So number one, the best way, easiest way to tell when a jinga plant is mature is when it is old. When it is old, all these leaves will turn. They'll turn brown. They'll dry. They will dry away. If you can get jinga that is 1 year old, safe for planting, but you should be sure, because the mistakes that come with planting an immature seed are very expensive, very costly.
Yeah.
What happens if I planted an immature seed? And what is an immature seed? An immature seed, by the way. An immature seed is one that is 7 months, 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, whatever is not 1 year is immature. And if you put it in the ground, the first sign, they will take so long to come out. It's the first sign that you planted the wrong seed. In a plantation like this one, you're going to have a few coming out in scatters. One will come out from there, another will come out from there, another will come out. And by the time you are 3 months into production, into growth, you will realize that it's just a few and the majority are still down. So you don't know what to do, whether to keep waiting or to invest and go on as you wait for the others to come out. It comes when the seed is too young. Then also planting something very young, they'll just rot. They'll just rot. They will not come out. And by the time you discover that you planted a wrong seed, you have spent way too much. For example, if I am to take you back, after we have found the right seed, get the right seed, one that is mature. First treatment, harvest it, and we keep it under the sun for not very long, just 2 days.
Okay.
Maximum is 3 days. So you break it and put it under the sun for that period. It has to be the sun, so the scars can dry. There's a way we prepare the seed. We break it and you keep it under the sun so it can dry very well. Then we have, let me put this back. Then we have some kind of treatment that we subject it to as we prepare it. Don't worry, it will grow. It has no problem.
That's what I'm like. I thought that is wasted now.
No, it will grow. So we subject them to some bit of training, some bit of preparation. For example, we dig a hole, some bit of ditch. I'll show you the ditch where I prepare them.
Should there be measurements?
No,
or just any hole?
There's no logic. It's just get a ditch, and there's a way you prepare the bottom. I'll show you when we get to the pit. So you prepare the bottom, put some sacks at the bottom, and then you bring this, remember we subjected it to drying in 2 days. And then you put it in there, and then we sprinkle some water on it. Not a lot, just enough. And then we may include a little bit of omo or a detergent, just so we can kill the fungal growth that may come. Because you have put water and
So
you have
put
put
the
the
omo in the
ginger.
hole?
No, the water is in, the omo is in the water that you are going to sprinkle.
That you're going to sprinkle.
Yes, a little bit, not a lot. And why we put it there is just so we can kill off the fungal growth that may come over time. So after there we cover, and after covering it very well, we put banana leaves on the surface, and then we cover everything inside. It's very unfortunate you have come when the season is, you know, so we are not into the planting, and that step is already out.
It's already 2 months.
Yeah, we are already 2 months. So after you have done that, we have buried them in the ground. There's going to be enough heat in the ground that will initiate the sprouting.
So you need a lot of heat to initiate the sprouting.
Yes, some people will cover. That's why you cover. Some people will tell you, no, what if I just put it in a sack and keep it outside? I mean, it can work, but I tell you what is the best. Yeah. So you put it there, allow it some 10 to 14 days. Yeah. In the ground, there's heat. Remember, we put a detergent in there. Remember, we first dried them very well. So after 14 days, by the time you open, every segment that you put there is going to have, you know, a sprout. And that is the most important thing. If you miss that step and you just plant straight away, you can have this plant stay in the soil for as long as up to even 4 months before it comes out. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time. So if you take that, it's like a shortcut. You come, you put it in the ground. You put it in the ground, you're going to wait for it about 14 days to a month. If you have followed me through, you have done all those steps, about 14 days to a month, and you'll see them coming out, right? So when they begin coming out, of course the weeds are everywhere.
So you need
to weed. Yes. But before we even get to that step, by the time you have brought them, they have sprouted, and they have sprouted, and you are coming to plant, you have to prepare this garden. Now, it is not by chance, not by coincidence, it is not that we have the soils like this, you know. You have to prepare the soils to a very fine texture. You understand?
Yeah.
Why do we need this? Because these sprouts come out and they are very fragile. We don't want any big clods of soil on top of them. And then after you have prepared the soils very finely, you are very sure that they are finely prepared and they are deep. These are deep soils, you know. If you are to go down, you go down to a certain one. There's a certain depth, and I can still keep going, but with my fingers. It shows you that it is deep.
That is deep, that is really fine.
Yes. So why do we have it like that? We have it like this because we are preparing for rhizomes to grow from the ground. They have to be easy, to be moving easily, growing easily. They shouldn't find resistance. If they find resistance, then they are going to spend a lot of energy overcoming the resistance, which is not a good thing. We want our plant to spend time making food and growing and making rhizomes. So, you have prepared your soils very well. You have brought your seeds from the ditch, and we are here.
Now we are planting.
Now we are planting. The spacing is as close as you can put it as close as you can. Yeah, as close as you can. For us, what we do is just, it's not even, you know, you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if if I'm to get a hole, I would show you. But from one hole to another, it has to be really close. So you can have as many plants as you can in an area. The more you have the plants in an area, the higher the yield at the end of what? At the end of the day. So after you have put your seeds in the ground, first month is down, we are going to put coffee husks. There are things that you are seeing. I don't know if you are able to see traces of something like this.
We can see them.
Yes. So we put coffee husks. This is one of this is the second most expensive stage. First stage, the seed. The seed for Jinga is expensive. That's the honest truth.
How much is it?
A bag goes for between 500 and 700.
And how much do you need
Seed.
to plant an acre?
How much do you need to make in an acre? It may be around 7 to 9 bags.
Wow,
Yes.
that's crazy.
Yes. So here
That's
we go to the next step that needs a lot of money, and that is the coffee husks.
and how many bags do you need?
Of coffee husks
For an
here
acre?
for an acre. For an acre, minimum should be about 200. That's the minimum. Right?
Bags?
Yes. But you can put as the more you feed it, the higher the chances of you getting yield. So if you don't have the money at that stage, your crop is going to faint in the soil.
Is there an alternative for the husks?
Alternative for the husks? No. No. You have to put them.
It must be husks.
Yes. And if you don't put them, you will see the difference.
Yeah.
So you have to get them. And we buy a bag at 10,000 here.
Yeah.
Because we are close to town, and it comes from Masaka. You know, you make a booking. So you can put as much as 200, maybe even up to 300. All we want to see is everything covered. It's like covering this entire area with.
Yeah.
And that's what we did.
Yeah.
It sinks into the soil and feeds the crop. We are together up to that point. So first month, they're beginning to sprout. No, before even, immediately after planting, we have put the coffee husks. We give them a period of 1 month to wait for sprouting. Yes. Now, Jinga is a special crop. After 1 month, remember you have put the coffee husks on the surface. It's a lot of fertility you have provided for the weeds. So the first crop that is the first plant that is going to surprise you will be weeds. So you're going to have a lot of weeds everywhere.
So you have to weed.
Now, the question is, do I weed? Yes. How do I weed? Simple. The first step, we use a herbicide. That's the first month. Our crop is just sprouting out.
It doesn't affect the sprouting crop?
We have a dosage. You have a dosage on how
What's the dosage?
The dosage, if I tell you everything, will I get customers really?
You will.
So what's the dosage? Again, we use the glyphosate, and preferably, from my experience, we have used Weed Master and it does well.
Okay.
And the dosage, you're going to put about 70 mils. Okay. 70 should be the maximum. 75 if you should be very extreme, in 20 liters of water.
Okay.
And then you come and apply it everywhere. So how you apply it, there are so many technicalities in there. It's not just mixing. Make sure that you have mixed it very well. After you are sure that you have mixed it very well, next thing, make sure that you mark when you are applying it, such that you know which area is done and which area is not done. At the end of the activity, we give it 2 weeks, and all the weeds should have showed that they are about to die or they are dying away. Okay. Should you have spots, it's going to be hard. Why? What makes it hard? By the end of those 2 weeks, the Jinga there will have come out. You can no longer apply what? The herbicide. And if you are to hire somebody, you can't hire somebody to pick the weeds in parts. So that is why we pay a lot of attention at that stage. Yeah. A lot of attention at that stage. You don't get double work. You don't, And it is very easy to dodge it. Make sure you mix very well your herbicide. And then be sure when you are applying it, one step after another. Okay. Mark. Okay, that's the first month. So first month we are entering into the second month. There we are 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks, and maybe some, let's say 3 weeks. We get now the manpower. This is the one special crop that is very hard to deal with if you want to use hoes and mechanize. It is hard. You get people and uproot the weeds. So that is around 1 month and a half, 2 months. We are now going to the weeding now, actual weeding. Pick every weed. one at a time. Pick from here. Look at this whole area. We put about 10 people, 20 people. One day they pick all the weeds. Weeds are the number one enemy in every crop.
Yeah.
And for ginger, it's very extreme. The weeds will, if you have them, for example, we have just cleared here and we're going to spray. If the weeds, like the weeds were here, when you have weeds, the pests will disturb your ginger.
Yeah.
Because the pests will always keep hiding in your ginger. So get the people always to keep your crop free of weed. Keep it as free of weed as possible. It has been very costly this rainy period. A lot of rains, a lot of weeds, but you don't put down the hoe, you don't stop. Every time you are up for the crop, pick the weeds. It's expensive, but in the end, it does pay off.
Okay.
So
it gives us hope.
Yeah.
That it pays off.
So at about 2 months, 2 months and 2 weeks, this is where we're at. Yes. So we do the first, we call it okutemera. Now, what is okutemera in English? It is not earthing up, but it is kutemera. What they were actually doing is to make the soils more pliable. They are finer there, so the plant can now begin to move roots and So that's the first kutemera. There is another kutemera, and that other kutemera I'll show you in the other garden.
Okay.
Where you just heap up soil on the crop so you can increase the area around the plant to have it spread into the ground.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is up to 2.5 months.
2.5, yes.
And the next garden we are going to see is from?
There's one that is already at 5 months.
Okay.
Then there's another one that is 3 months.
Okay.
Yes. I don't have a baby.
No.
So, talking about the pests and the diseases of this crop. Ginger is one of the unique crops that has very few pests and very few diseases. Okay? There are a few diseases of the plant, and majority of them, they are fungal diseases, and that is why in our spray regimes we always have a lot of fungicides to use, and thankfully they are easy to deal with. You can use the we combine both, a preventive and a curative. But specific to this crop, what I wanted to show you is the effect of a pest. Now there is a stubborn caterpillar, it's like a cutworm. It hides in the soil and it always comes out and it does this kind of damage, you see. And when does this happen? It happens when you delay to remove the weeds. The shortcut to avoiding such, what this has as an effect to the plant is number one, you are reducing the area, the surface area for photosynthesis for the crop when the pest does this damage. And in the end, it is going to be translated in what you will have come out of the ground as your rhizome. So the shortcut to avoiding all this, keep your crop weed free. Remove all the weeds all the time. Get the team that can help you sort this. Ginger needs many people. Ginger is a job for many. It is one crop that requires many people. But the good news is it always pays. It always pays off. So there are many pesticides that are on the market that can help you to avoid these occurrences in your garden. But the choice of a pesticide now, when we're choosing, we choose a pesticide that can go into the soil, right? Yes, pesticides are many, and the choice is yours to make, depending on how much money you have and how much you're willing to spend. So look for a pesticide that can address the pest on the leaves and also go into the soil and address what is in the soil. If you come looking for the pest, they will always hide around in here. You will find them in here hiding. Then where do they exert damage? On the leaves, in very early in the morning, if you find when it has just cut, they don't just do this. Sometimes they come and they cut the stem. They cut the stem. That is why I told you need a pesticide that will go into the soil, such that they deal with what is also in the soil. So they will come and cut your stem, and only you will see the plant drying up. Later you will discover that the stem was cut. Yes, that's it basically about the pests. It's just that stubborn cutworm. It comes from the ground. You need that pesticide that can go into the ground and also deal with what is on the crop. And then the diseases are mainly fungal, which you just need to address with a curative fungicide and a preventive one. We are in a rainy season, so we do much of curative fungicide than the preventive ones. Again, I told you the seed is very important when we are making a choice in the ginger production. Number one, the seed must be a mature one, 1 year old preferably. Then, regardless of which variety you are going to choose, then if you are to come now to which variety you are going to choose, for us we have two, and the two categories that we have the Nzungu and the Nganda. Okay, the Nzungu is this variety. They put on very big rhizomes that spread out. They are weighty. They will be very, very big. So you feel the sack easily, and they have good market. Now the Nganda is also very good. For it, it is the rhizomes are smaller. They are smaller in size. But the beautiful thing about it is how it concentrates its nutrients in the rhizomes. The Kaganda is much more conk, if I may say, for lack of a better word. Kabeda concentrated. You use only a small piece and it is on point. That is different from this one. And depending on your target market, then you have to choose which variety you will grow. If you are growing for export, for example, our ginger is targeted by the Kenyans. They take it, they have processing plants there, and they do process it into powder. And for them, they are interested in this one because in processing, it is about the size. It is less about the quality being conk. No. If you are growing for the local market, for people who are in making tea, munanasi, and all those people, the other variety is what is better. So depending on number one, your target market, you may choose which variety to grow. But then also resistance to diseases and pests, nothing, no difference. Demand in terms of chemicals, and no difference. They will perform almost the same way, you know. But the difference is in the final yield. The Kaganda is going to give you not as much as the Nzungu. And is there a difference in price? The fluctuations are not even anywhere correlated. This one is an independent crop. It has its own market price, different from the one that is the Kaganda. Apparently the Kaganda is so down in the market, a bag going for about 100,000, and yet this one has stayed up at 250. So your choice to make. Does that mean that the Kaganda is a wrong choice? No. The Kaganda has also had points when it has shot so high, a bag going for 400, 500. Those times have been there. Just like this one, some time back the prices were really bad, going for about 180, but they have come back now 250. We are hoping they are going to keep going to 300 and so on. Now this garden, which is 1 acre and a few decimals, is 5 months. At 5 months, the plant has now advanced and it is making almost like a bush. And the advantage with this stage is that now the plant is beginning to control the weeds by itself. So we're going to weed once and we shall be done. But most importantly, for now the crop at this stage, you realize there's something unique about it. It looks like somebody has put a powder on it. Now the powder on it is a fungicide that we mix and apply it. The fungicide helps to uh, guard against the diseases, fungal diseases to be specific. We apply it, we use mancozeb, that is why it looks like that. We include the pesticide. The pesticide there we use, some people use rocket, we use rocket, some people use ramida. There's many, there's DD force, there's Dudu force, there are just so many. But for us we use rocket for the pesticide. Then we include the foliar fertilizer. The foliar fertilizer, there are many again. There's Vigamax, there's Easy Grow. Easy Grow starter is also good. There's just quite many. But our target is whichever choice of fertilizer you make as a foliar fertilizer, it should be very high in phosphorus, such that the plant can establish in the rooting zone. The more the phosphorus, the higher the chances of you getting very good rhizomes forming in the ground. So at 5 months, where are we at? The other side at 2 months, we are lightening up the soil. Olitema lifuke pliable, such that the jinga rhizomes can move into the ground easily. So at 5 months, it is different. What do? We do what is called earthing up. Now, what is earthing up? Earthing up is getting the soil that is around the plant, and we mount it on the crop. Our target is to make sure that all the rhizomes are kept inside the soil, and once the rhizomes are exposed, it means that the rhizomes will not, what is in the ground is not going to be to expand as big as you may want it. The more you keep it inside the ground, the more it is going to grow and expand. So we do what is called earthing up. Collect all the soil that is around and mount it on the what? On the plant.
Now we want to go to the challenges that you face during
Production.
Jinga
is a unique crop. Very few. This is what makes it special, is that it has very few pests and very few diseases. That is what makes it unique, and that is what makes farming hard. Outside the pests and diseases, which you easily control by using curative and preventive fungicides and the insecticides that are readily available on the market, there would be other challenges, that the plant requires water. You have to have access to water. Planting jinga, when you don't have access to water, you will face a very big challenge. Number one, your jinga will take very long to come out. It can even mean to take up to 3 months before it comes out. And then it is going to come out in parts.
Should you have water throughout the 9 to 12 months? Or it's just the beginning process
that needs water? The first 4 months, they really need water. And why do I say this? We are dealing with a root crop. Like all root crops, look at the cassava, look at the potatoes, they do well when you have water when they are well supplied with water. So jinga, root crop, water, but too much water now is also not good. That is why we don't recommend people who may want to invest in jinga production in a swampy area, in the valleys where it is waterlogged. When the water becomes excess, again, what happens is that the rhizomes are just going to rot. Yes. So you need the water, but it has to be regulated. Mountainous areas, it's okay. And in gentle sloping areas like ours, it's very okay. But the challenge is when you get the jinga to waterlogged areas. So the crop needs water. You don't have water, think twice before you start the business. The other challenge would be resources. Resources, now I'm going to talk about two things. Number one You need human resource. This crop needs many people because how you control weeds, uprooting. You can imagine. This is 1 acre. Imagine how hard it is to uproot weeds from the start to the very end manually. You understand? So you're going to have to get about 10 people, and if you bring 10 people, you're going to do it for about 3 days. So if you can afford to bring 30 people in 1 day and you pay each one of them, good thing. Then if you have the human resource, you have cheap labor in your community, the other thing you should also plan for is the money. Yes. Jinga is a crop that will bring back your money if you have it in the start.
If you invest it.
If you invest it in the start. The seed is very expensive. I told you a bag is going to go between 500 and 700. You know, and we're talking about an acre plus. If you're talking about an acre plus, you're talking in terms of minimum 7, but there may be 9 or even 10 or even 12, depending on how you have broken the segments. That is money. And then we talked about the coffee husks. You know, for example, an acre, I told you need about 200 plus bags. That is money. Then if you have covered those, the next thing you're going to spend on is labor. These other things that you do, spraying, the chemicals, they are not really that expensive. You can always handle. I told you when you are using the herbicide, you're even using 75 mils in 20 liters. I mean, just 2 liters are enough for you to cover an acre. It's nothing. Look at the insecticide that we use. In every spray we are going to use maximum is 250 mils. It's nothing. That's about 10,000. If it's very expensive, it's 15. If you look at the fungicides that you're going to use in every spray, you're going to use about 20. I mean, you're going to use about 2 kilograms. I'm talking about an acre now. 2 kilograms of mancozeb, and 2 kilograms of mancozeb is like 25,000. I mean, I'm trying to show you that the chemicals are they're not a huge challenge in there. And again, the pests are very few and the diseases are very few. So if you can prepare for seed and you have water and you have labor, the last thing you want to see is your crop covered in weeds.
Yeah.
That is the weirdest thing.
That's a loss.
It will be a total loss. All pests will multiply and you lose the crop. Otherwise, the crop is one of the best, most lucrative crops that we have in Uganda.
So now that you're talking about the money to put in, I think my viewers are like, okay. So I think the icing on the cake is, what are the benefits?
What are the
benefits?
Okay.
And we can concentrate on an acre for easy.
Yes. The benefits. For example, in an acre, you will have to prepare about 12 million. I think somebody wants to know, how much do I need to invest in an acre and get started? You need about 12 million, 15 million, yes, for the crop to do good production, yes. About 12 million. If it is way too high, well, even if you went up to 18 million, even if you went up to 20 million, it's still okay for that crop. The thing is, do you have access to that money? Every bag of Jinga, now the present market, every bag goes for 250. Present market now. And we are saying the prices are down because business is slow. The borders are closed and, you know.
And when the business is doing well, how much?
When the business is doing well, a bag will go for 350, 400. A bag of Jinga is costed at 1.1 million Ugandan shilling.
Wow.
Yes, it has been at 1 million Ugandan shilling. But then the prices went down to about 600. Now the prices keep fluctuating about 450, 350. Now we're in the bad times, 250.
And how many bags do you pick out of an acre?
An acre, expect 85 if you have done your feeding very well. And feeding, I am saying, done your feeding very well means you have given the crop and the foliar fertilizer, and you put enough for coffee husks there at that stage. Expect 85 to 100 bucks.
So in case there are 100 bags and it's 350. 350,000.
Let's take the present price, for example. 100 bags, and the present price is 250.
So that is 25 million.
Perfect. So that is why I told. Yes. So that is why I told you, even when the prices are down.
When you do 25 minus the 12.
The 12.
That is 25 minus, that's 13 million.
Yes. The challenge is why don't we have very many people in this business? If you are saying it is very lucrative, the capital base. You don't have a chance to play around in case you don't have the resources. You need the money to pay workers, to uproot all those weeds timely. You need the money to buy the coffee husks. You need the money to buy the seeds. So it is that challenge.
And I think it's more lucrative if you do it more than 1 acre.
Yes, yes, yes.
That is quite some money. And especially when you said that that is the low.
Yes, that is the lowest price. We are in the bad times.
In the bad times. So I can imagine if you're in good times and it's 600.
I have colleagues that have bought cars out of Jinga. I have people that have built houses out of Jinga. People have really enjoyed this crop. They have enjoyed this crop.
Yeah.
The only challenge, and my appeal to the government, is instead of selling this our Jinga to the people in Kenya, how about we have a processing plant? We have people in Butambala, they are doing a lot of Jinga production. And this crop can change their lives, you know. So if we have a processing plant, you know, and we have this Jinga being value addition, and it is transformed into powders or other products, farmers can really benefit from this. Yes. We have, because
now this is just on the local market.
We have Kikuyu, there are Kikuyu guys, they come from Kenya and they pack the trucks. For us, we don't take Jinga to the market. No. When this crop is ready, it's going to be ready around February, March. I need some other more 3 months, 4. When it is ready, I just call them. Then they look at the plant, they take a few samples, then we negotiate. How do we sell Jinga? Instead of 100 kilograms, we sell, what is 100 kilograms? We sell it as 135 or 125, considering the water. So we calculate and I tell you, okay, how many bags do you expect? 85. And then I get boys, about 50. You know, for this, it has to be done in 1 day, maximum 2 days. So I get about 50 boys, everybody has a hoe, and we get it out, and they load it on trucks, and they take it to Kenya.
Wow.
You can imagine.
So we need value addition.
If somebody can invest, transport from wherever, and pick it from here, and the conditions that favor this crop, they are here in Uganda. Here. They are not in Kenya, they are not in Tanzania, they are here. So my appeal to the government, let's have this crop treated like the way you have treated coffee. Let's have it treated specially. Let us have the value addition also given to the Jinga. It is the one crop that I think can change many lives and also increase on the revenue for the country.
Very good to hear. That's what we're all waiting for.
Thank you.
And so what are your closing remarks on ginger business in ginger?
Business in ginger. If you have access to land and you don't have time, I want to emphasize this. If you have access to land and you don't have time, and you have the money, this is the one crop I would recommend. Why? Because like I have showed you in the gardens, the one that is at 5 months, we have sprayed. We just sprayed a while ago. And we're going to go away and come back after 2 weeks or even a month. It is one crop you will not worry about. Oh, I didn't spray, the crop is dying. Or I didn't spray, it has rained. No, no pressure. So you take your time. The only challenge, solve the weeds. We're together. So you are there and you have the money. Put in, no pressure. Let the crop rest. Make for you money as you are resting the other side, and you are making more money the other side. And they earn some amount and they are looking for what to invest in. This is the right crop. The youths, I would say it is the right crop. It's just that for us, the youths, we want something, put in money and in 1 month. And I think that is going to be the tomatoes, as I'll talk about it.
Oh, Isaac.
I don't know.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you so much for the enlightenment. I think a lot has been learned. We're used to finding stuff on the market, but we don't know what it takes. And also we have a lot of people who are looking for what to do that can be productive. Something that is stress-free and what. Though this requires some money, but I think it's worth it at the end, as we've seen, that the efforts are worth it. So I just want to tell my viewers to take note of that and also consider that kind of business, especially for those who may have some money on them and they don't know what to do with it, because you can even hire land. You don't have to actually have a piece of land. You can hire, you enter into a tenancy agreement and you hire and you rent out some land. And it's also helpful in a way that you have something to look forward to. You can plan that with the money that comes out, you can do something else with it. And I also want to thank our viewers for tuning in and staying tuned to see all this process, the whole process into the market. And we hope even someone who has heard about the value addition can also take note of that. You can come in as a person, you can come in to contribute to value addition. Thank you, Serena, our sponsors, as usual. Thank you for loving us. Thank you for this time you give us. Thank our subscribers. Please continue to click on that subscribe button, share, follow all our social media channels and pages. Please do not miss out on this enlightenment. People pay for lots of money for them, but here we're getting it free of charge, and it's worth a try. We need to get out of poverty and stop blaming this one and that one for our poverty. We need to just get up and do something, especially the youth. Thank you. God bless you. And then I hope all this will benefit you. God bless you.